Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day and a wonderful weekend. We're going to take a quick look here at Bitcoin, see what's going on, get back on track. I've been out of the office for about 3 days now, so we're going to have to kind of just take an unbiased look here at the charts and kind of see what's going on. While I do that all the time, it's just a friendly reminder for you to make sure you do that yourself. Quick thank you to everyone who has been amazing and awesome in supporting just our wonderful journey here that we just started here. We got little baby Cooper here. Hitting it up with our little CC swag. So he is a cool little dude, and it's been a great experience here so far. Thank you to my wife as well for just her amazing, just everything. Honestly, it's phenomenal. Women are amazing creatures. Just fantastic how great she's doing. She's handling all the breastfeeding. Obviously, I need to do a lot of extra work too, but for the most part, she's handling the brunt of it. So kudos on that. And again, thank you for being an awesome part of my life. Appreciate you sharing in the journey and tolerating my my lack of communication here recently. So what I want to do is take a quick look at liquidation levels again. Obviously, you get a baseline of where things are at. If you're newer to the channel, you'll know that liquidation levels are extremely important to recognize just kind of motivation of where things are going next, okay? Because again, this most recent pump, I think it was kind of a fake out. More importantly, it was mostly just a Fed rate, a Fed meeting rather, and every time there's those kind of things that occur, things kind of go in different directions, and the truth eventually will kind of subside within days. And I think we're seeing that right now. I'll talk about that more here on the charts, but when it comes to the last 7 days of liquidation, we can see, of course, there's a big chunk at 107, just above the local high here. So majority of recent shorts got destroyed. Thankfully, we still have a good short open with our Bitcoin position. It's pretty much at break even at this point, plus or minus a little bit. And, again, you just kind of got to hold strong. As we talked about previously, that 107, 108K range is a super strong resistance. We're seeing 105 to 106 holding very, very good right now. Okay, not to say we couldn't retest that and break through it, but the first attempt was failed. But we can see a lot of liquidation left up there. Now, as far as current liquidation, we need to be mindful that 98 to 101K is probably the next target for market makers. Partially because we keep retesting this lower this support level at 100,000, but also just because this was not really the strongest push, and I'll explain more about that here in a moment. Again, it's not that I'm against the fact that Bitcoin could retest 110,000. In fact, it felt like it was going to do that here recently. But for the most part, there's not a lot of signs here telling us that this is a really strong or clean breakout or a strong or clean, retention at this level, right? So we'll talk about that. Anyways, 95,000, a pretty significant level of liquidation. I'm still feeling like we're going to see that in the relative near future, just based on how uneventful this most recent pump was. It was good for altcoins. A lot of them kind of just jumped up and recovered quickly, but as you can see now, they're all in the doghouse again, as per usual. This is pretty much a rinse and repeat. The market has been extremely volatile, and it's no excuse, but it's harder to find more confirming factors. Okay, so if you are part of my community, you're like, well, where are all the good signals? Truth is, those signals were we had 6 or 7 months of consistent good signals, right? And then 1 month, you take a little reset, and then we come back, right? So again, you got to recognize this is very temporary. The market's not always going to be like this, but for the most part, lately, it's been very trashy and very difficult to manage, right? Because you wait for confirmation, you wait for good entries. Once you finally get in, you realize that, shoot, the price is going to turn right around on me again. So a lot of times I've noticed that buying at support is almost a better option than it is actually buying with confirmation. So we're going to maybe consider adjusting our trading style for the immediate future here until the market kind of starts to calibrate. Either way, liquidation delta, this isn't very telling. This is kind of a little off. In fact, sometimes the chart does this here, but simply put, we have a lot less, longs we have more longs than shorts, but less longs in the market right now. Kind of that indecisive moment, right? And we take a look here at open interest, we can recognize here that a lot of people are pretty heavy at 105. What do you know? The price is below that now. That's why you don't breakout trade, folks. These are breakout traders. They're not successful. Not saying that I've had a tremendous amount of success, with this last month, but I can tell you that it's, this is not the way to go. Either way, let's quickly zoom out, see if there's any other areas. There are maybe secondary, tertiary entries at about 102 and 103. So for the most part, we see more open interest above us, thus implying we have resistance. Okay, and the likelihood of the price breaking through that's pretty low. And again, if you look back here, you kind of zoom out. Well, this is a pretty large volume candle here. That's when the Fed meeting occurred. You can see the volumes mostly tapered off, minus these kind of occasional pumps, right? And both these pumps here got rejected out here at 106 too. So basically 106,000 is an easy way to understand that that is an area of resistance. So if you look at my previous play out, the anticipation was for the price to either come down, retest support, and then essentially, reject off of its descending trend line, continue lower. That didn't happen. Fed meeting came out pretty well. Price blasted through that, came up to this resistance level, and is now pulling back. Okay, so in a lot of ways, both these scenarios are accurate. It's just that for the most part, we had a fundamental catalyst where things looked really good. Everybody starts funneling money into the market, and what do you know? Market makers are taking profit, and a lot of folks are feeling like left feeling like a chump because they're in at a higher price point. Okay, so just be very, very careful taking longs right now. You could say the same thing about taking shorts too, but the truth is we are on our way down, and this being a weekend, generally when weekends kind of start like this, they usually finish this way too. So just be mindful that we're probably going to see some continued bleeding here today. Taking a look here at the SMAs, we are testing the 20-day SMA here, so we're finally at a point where we are potentially breaking bearish. Now again, I wouldn't say that we're breaking bearish by any stretch, but that in combination with us getting closer to 50 on the RSI, there's a lot of, we're on this last level of support, right? We're that 102, 101K range. It's, it's holding, but how long is it going to hold, right? Same thing here with stochastic as well. We got a secondary swing to the downside. Usually that carries more weight than the first. MACD diverging. A lot of things here as to why, we still shouldn't get too crazy with longs, right? Hence the reason why I never really took any longs this week. We've got 3 shorts open. One took profit. One we had to close, and then the other one is essentially at break even. So again, hindsight, of course, I would have loved to have taken some longs right after the Fed meeting, but those are breakout trades. And again, while they found a limited success, all that success is gone now because market makers took their profit. So just kind of throwing some ideas out there, more, it's kind of like the mind of a market maker. How do they look at this here? Well, they're going to see opportunities and they're going to take them. And anytime there's a resistance level or resistance range, the price starts to slow down. Usually that's a good consideration to take a short. So at this point, what I've noticed is that shorting the top and buying the bottom has been a very effective strategy here until we essentially create a different range. But right now, the range is 100,000 to roughly 107. Okay, we're kind of stuck in this little range. But if we look at the point of control here, 105 is that local point of control. So until we get a solid closure above 105,000, I don't think that there's a reason to consider taking a long. Okay, it's just me personally. Even though we had a nice little pump here recently, that was not very long lived. Taking a look here, though, we can see MACD is pulling back, stochastic swinging down, RSI under 50, money flow index right there with it. These are generally unfavorable signs. Okay, now again, some people will joke about doing the opposite of what I say, and that's actually accurate in a lot of ways. Lately, the market has been faking us out anytime you see confirming factors. So the truth is, this may be a dip to buy. I don't know. It's not one I would like to buy because we have good momentum on the downside, strong continuation. While we are in a secondary point of control here, we got 102,000 is that tentative support level. I think if we lose 102K, we're likely to continue much lower. Okay, so again, not really ideal conditions here. And once more, when you're taking trades, folks, try not to. Some people will consistently try to adjust their trading style, and it's all well and good to make improvements, but for the most part, if you've tried one thing for one time and it doesn't work, then maybe don't shift that dynamic. Me personally, if I see 7 months of solid results, and then 1 month is off a little bit, I'm not going to adjust my entire strategy because I just had an off month. If you are a good trader, you're going to know that the ebbs and flows of trading are consistent, and you have to kind of roll with it and try not to get deterred. Okay. So not to say that you can't make some adjustments. I make little adjustments here and there too, but the general consensus of what I do here has been very consistent over the years, and there's going to be a few times where it isn't. And so you just kind of got to roll with that too. And I'm speaking primarily to my community because there are some folks that are newer to my community this month or January, for example, and they're like, what's going on here? We have a lot of break-even stuff going on. Well, the truth is, the market will eventually find its equilibrium, okay? And if you hold true and you try not to get derailed by too much, then you're gonna be successful because the market makers right now are just laughing themselves to the bank right now. Either way, look at it here, hourly time frame confirming all bearish signs here. There's no reason to consider a long. Once again, this is a dip. Potentially, you could hypothetically have luck with. And again, I want to emphasize the word luck because you don't trade on luck, right? But 102,000 is that secondary support range based on volume. So hypothetically, we could get a bounce from here, but it doesn't make a ton of sense with all the divergences we're seeing here. We're starting to lose some key levels, and the weekly. I'll look at that here on Monday. But for right now, at this moment, the daily time frame is exuding a lot of bearish qualities, and we're breaking below the 20-day SMA. There's a lot of reasons why it's not really all that smart to consider long. Again, continue to add to your spot back. It's a different story altogether. Please understand I'm generally referring to liquidation that is associated with leverage trades, and that's what I want you to urge. I want to urge caution for that. But for right now, I don't see any reason why the price doesn't come back down to this low $100,000 mark. So for our Bitcoin short that we are at break even right now, I'm going to probably adjust our take profit targets and then make sure that we walk away in the green on that one just to be on the safe side. But that's kind of how it goes, folks. You kind of got to adjust, and just don't adjust too much if you have a good winning strategy. Okay. All right, folks, that's all I got here. Thank you so much again for watching. I look forward to work with you in the future if you want to become a better trader. CryptoCash.tech is a site. Link down below, and thanks again to my amazing community, both YouTube, Twitter, Telegram, Discord, the whole thing, for all your awesome support. Appreciate you. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.